Stardust Crusaders was an amazing introduction to the new generation of Jojo. Hamon was discarded and left to rot in a dark alleyway to be replaced by the new stand abilities. And in addition to the new powers, a boatload of new characters were also introduced. Stardust Crusaders' main cast isn't the best Jojo has ever gotten, that point would go to part 6 Stone Ocean, but for a first attempt, they did a damn good job. In fact, 3 of the main heroes get a spot on this list. So let's talk about Kakyoin. During the introduction with the flashbud controlled stand users and the horrible Japanese puns I can't fucking understand, Kakyoin definitely stood out. Sadly, the first part of the story is in my opinion the weakest, and that's where Kakyoin is the most active. And during his introduction, Kakyoin is basically a right asshole. And his stand Hierophant Green isn't anything special either. Finally, let's talk about something Kakyoin does really well. Dying. Kakyoin!
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
Back it up! Kakyoin!
Rest in peace, Kakyoin. On to heaven, where all the MILFs will be waiting for you. Oh wait.
Jojo.
Yeah, that will never stop being funny. Tired of Stardust Crusaders yet? Unlike Phantom Blood, Battle Tendency and Stardust Crusaders wanted to get more mainstream and thus added a little more humor. When we're talking comedy in part 3, Joseph and Polnareff are the frontrunners. But before either of those were up to their silly antics, another character gave a lighter touch to Stardust Crusaders. And believe me, if I didn't do a little research before I made this list, I would have never known what her name was. I don't think it was ever mentioned actually. Number 9 goes to her, who is apparently known as Anne. Anne has the personality of a regular high school brat, and I completely despise that character trope. Fucking Yako. But of course this is JoJo's Bizarre Adventures we're talking about, so it's better. Scripting Anne is actually really hard because she's basically the same as Polnareff and Joseph, but on a more childish level. And when you think she's finally gone, she simply comes back. Sadly, she also suffers from the same problems as Kakyoin, even more so than Kakyoin, because she doesn't even appear in the second part of the story. But when it comes down to it, she makes a great addition to the team, for as long as she can at least. At first, this spot belonged to Mohammed Avdol, but then I realized Mohammed wasn't actually that important in the grand scheme of things, and he didn't really do much aside from defeating Polnareff, dying, and then dying again. What the fuck? Pretty recently I also finished Stone Ocean, and good lord, weather report. Jojo has gotten pretty dark before, especially with the newly released Death of Shigekio. But never quite to the extent of Weather Report. Weather was introduced as another inmate of Green Dolphin Street prison alongside Anasue. Whoa, wait a second. Why is Anasue female? But it is quickly revealed he has amnesia.
You hear that, Josuke? Sheephead did it first.
All Weather Report wants to know is who he is, and he eventually does find out, but it would have been better if he didn't. As it turns out, Weather is the brother of the main antagonist, Enrico Pucci. Just after he was born, Weather was stolen away by a woman whose child died before seeing the light of day. And we're back at it again with the impossible family trees. To make things even worse, Weather, under the name Wes Bloomerine, fell in love with Pucci's sister, Perla Pucci. Enrico, through a way that is way too fucking complicated to explain right now, found out Wes was his own brother and decided to separate the couple. To accomplish this, he hired a special detective agency, but things didn't go so smoothly. Because KKK. The detective agency found out Wes's mother was married to a black man and decided to attack the couple. Eventually, Weather was hung from a tree and Perla committed suicide. GG Pucci, you only killed your own sister. We K? Or should I say we KKK? No! I'm fucking horrible. Of course, after the incident, Pucci stole Weather's memories and threw him in prison. Take his horrible backstory, infuse it with amazing powers and a great personality, and you get Weather Report. Even though his design is just Wonder Man with a goat on his head. Someone recently told me to turn it down, and I said, turn down! When the main antagonists in your fancy comic book get a stupid name like the Pillar Men, of course you're gonna be skeptical for everything they're gonna be doing. Until they actually show up.
Bitch, I'm fabulous! Oh!
If I had made this list a couple of months ago, this spot would have belonged to AC/DC, who was at the time my favorite of the three Pillar Men. But since that was a couple of months ago, let's talk about Wamu instead. Wamu is a warrior of truly epic proportions, and I'm not just saying that because of his sexy biceps. Unlike AC/DC, who just fucks everyone over because he can, Wamu has a really strong sense of justice and honor. He's like the Tadakatsu Honda of JoJo's Bizarre Adventures. Hell, they're even voiced by the same guy. Sadly, this honorable warrior spirit became his undoing in the end. But hey, at least he kicked ass while he was still alive. Caesar's ass. Wait, I've already used this clip. Shit. Speedwagon is a love. Speedwagon is life. Speedwagon is a total babe. He's got an awesome scar running along his face, long blonde hair, and oddjob hat. Speedwagon is easily the strongest character in the entire JoJo multiverse, using his trademark bowler hat and a fucking hammer. This swagalicious dude bro is the very reason JoJo even exists. Don't believe me? Check JoJo's Bizarre Adventures Over Heaven, chapter 39, page... I don't fucking know. It says Speedwagon is the very reason Dio put on the stone mask. But what about the firing squad? Shut the fuck up. Speedwagon is narrating another battle of his lowly servant Jonathan Juster, and I can't fucking hear him because of your invalid arguments against the Lord and Savior Speedwagon. Speedwagon is afraid of fucking nothing. Oh, this right here? Bullshit. Let me just quickly rearrange it. There we go. Of course Araki wants to make Speedwagon more believable and more human, but we all know Robert is the one truly fearless god. You know how most people have these really cute pictures of their family in their office? You know what I have? Speedwagon. Speedwagon is simply
The f***ing universe!
Maybe it's become a little apparent throughout this list, but I always prefer comic relief characters. More often than not, they are the ones that make the story. And even if they aren't, they're always oh, fuck. Just got that. The punchline is Jean-Pierre Polnareff. Even though Jotaro is the main hero of part 3, Polnareff was given so much screen time, it's hard not to get attached to him. And how can you not love a guy who wants to build his own theme park and call it Polnareff Land? Then there's his stand Silver Chariot, which is one of the least creative stands to be fair, but, especially in combination with Anubis, makes for some truly epic battles. But finally, I do have to ask, what is up with his hair? Come on, I can't be the only one seeing this. And I'm not even gonna mention these. Man, this entire alternate universe shit is just fucking with the entire timeline. Hey Barry, is this your doing? Now I actually strongly believe in the multiple worlds theory, and the idea of an alternate universe in JoJo is pretty interesting. And that alternate universe actually brought us some pretty badass reimaginings of other characters. Take this for example. Will was always a lovable goof, while Caesar was more of an honorable bastard. But the true potential of the Zeppeli family never quite surfaced. Until Steel Ball Run. Like Polnareff before him, Gyro Zeppeli got so much character development that it felt like he was the main character instead of Johnny Joestar. His design is amazing, his jokes were always funny even though I didn't understand half of the Japanese puns he spit out of his pie hole. I swear there are literally entire chapters dedicated to his stupid puns. This man is my fucking spirit animal. And his weapon, the steel balls, make for the greatest fights in all of JoJo's Bizarre Adventures, without question. Sadly, like all Zeppelis, he was also fated to die. Eventually, he was seen transcending into heaven like Bucciarati, Avdol, Iggy, Foo Fighters, and Shigechi. And there's also one thing that really holds Gyro back, and that is his stand, Ballbreaker. Aside from rarely appearing, it does jack shit. If it was given to someone like Magenta or Soundman, they wouldn't be able to do anything with it because you need to steal balls to actually make it work. It's like how you need to be a sniper like John Golly to actually make something of Manhattan Transfer. But I guess that's just a nitpick, because Gyro is truly awesome in every way. And that one teddy bear scene is just adorable. The last few characters have all been characters that are fairly important to the actual plot. So how about now we're gonna talk about a character that is only there for 2 chapters. And if you couldn't tell from this music, number 3 goes to Mikitaka Hazekura. The big selling point of Diamond is Unbreakable is mystery. The biggest mystery of course revolves around the main antagonist Yoshikage Kira. But from the moment Mikitaka got introduced, nobody cared about Kira anymore. He was introduced in the chapter appropriately titled I Am an Alien, where Josuke and Okuyasu go to investigate a crop circle. There they discover Mikitaka, who starts rambling about his mothership and other alien shit. Even for Jojo, that's just fucking weird. It's also revealed Miki has a stand, but when he was shot by the arrow, he didn't even phase. We don't even know if it's really a stand, it's just a stand-like power. His ability, Earth, Wind and Fire, allows him to transform into several different objects like dice, which Josuke used to scam Rohan. Yeah, nice idea Josuke, what could possibly go wrong? Oh boy. To make things even weirder, he goes completely apeshit when he hears the sound of a siren. But the weirdest and probably the best thing about Mikitaka is that it's never revealed whether he really is an alien or not. But that's part of the glorious mystery that is Mikitaka. Also, Earth, Wind and Fire, I love that band. But please don't sue me. I don't really have anything to say about Okuyasu. He's a bumbling buffoon. Complete idiot. Fucking dumbass. And I love him. Now before we get to number 1, let's do some honorable mentions. Irina Pendleton, George, Joestar, Will Antonio Zeppeli, Smokey Brown, Lisa Lisa, ACDC, Mohammed Avdol, Maria Anubis, Iggy, Vanilla Ice, Rohan Kishibe, Reimi Sugimoto, Yuya Fungami, Shigeki Oyangu, Akira Otoishi, Shizuka Joestar, Bruno Bucciarati, Emporio Alnino, Foo Fighters, Emrys Costello, Ricky L, Donatello Versace, Hot Pants, Mountain Tim, Lucy Steele, Steven Steele, Rigno Road Again, Wake Up People, Blackmore, Sandman, Jesus, Magenta, Yasuo Hirose, Daya Higashikata, Holy Kujo from Part 8, and finally, Norisuke and Jobin Fuck! Higashikata! And now finally on to number 1. Old Joseph Joestar is without a doubt the greatest character to ever grace JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Joseph embodies what is in my opinion the best thing about JoJo's Bizarre Adventures, the humor. Whenever Joseph appears on screen, you are guaranteed to have an amazing time. But really, I can't do the amazingness of Joseph justice with just words. If you want to find out how great of a character Joseph really is, you should either A. read the manga, B. watch the TV show, or C. watch the compilation of all his wacky moments by Josephino. And with that, I will leave you. My work is over. See you next time.
闇を欺いて切なをかわして刃すり抜け奴らの隙をつけ貫いた想いが未来を開く Like a burning stone 熱く Like a burning stone 血脈に刻まれた因縁